As 17-year-old Jack Stewart walked up the steps to the two-row ski field, he had no idea what to expect. He had come for a tryout on the course of the Bacheron Amateur Snowboard Classic. He hoped to accomplish two things today: learn the jump build-up and see his competition in action. It was an amateur comp. How hard could it be? Then he noticed his dad and coach beside him. "Ready, son?" "Of course, Dad. Now, we need to look for the Movenpick chairlift." "Ah, there it is." So the two hopped on the chairlift together. 4 minutes later, they were over the jump. "Watch this guy intently," Dad advised Jack, as the boarder built up speed on the approach. He hit the jump and soared through the air, fitting in a 720-degree anti-clockwise turn. Not an easy trick by any means. "He doesn't look like an amateur," stated Dad. "You think," said Jack, with a slight quiver in his voice. A few minutes later, they reached the top of the chairlift. Jack wobbled a little on his board, approaching the start of the run. Then, they both strapped into their boards and took off down the mountain, approaching the jump. Jack's dad followed him down, analysing the jump. When Jack reached the foot of the jump, he was only half the speed he wanted. He managed a 1 1/4 turn, but the front of his board dug into the snow and he face-planted with what seemed tons of force. His dad pulled up beside him. "Ouch, you're okay?" "No! What is a trick like that going to do against people who could pass as pros?" he wailed, sounding like a little boy. But he got back up and slowly slid down the mountain. An hour later, Jack was more depressed than ever. He had failed 5 more attempts and he hadn't even said a word. "You seem a bit down, son. What's wrong?" "I can't do it," he cried. "I'm not building up near enough speed, so I can't work to my strengths." "Follow me down," Dad said calmly. "I'll find the best route and pull out of the way at the last second. Now, it's our last run of the day. Let's make it our best ever." So the two strapped into their boards and took off down the mountain for the last run before the big day. As Jack looked at where his father was headed, he noticed it was totally illogical, and they were the first ones to ride anywhere near it. But as they rounded the final corner, he had much more speed. He flew into the air and pulled back and landed a 360-degree backflip, leaving his father amazed. Competition day had finally arrived, and it was Jack's final run. The final run. He was fourth, but 132 points from a possible 150 would win it for him. He took off round where his father had taught him and onto the final straight. He hit the ramp with so much speed, pulling back for a 360-degree backflip, landed him a 720-degree double backflip. His landing was a little wobbly, but he stayed up. He spun 360 degrees on the ground and pulled up in front of the judges. He looked at each one, choosing a score out of 50. His heart was in his mouth. Then the panels rose. 42, 41, and 50. As he added them up in his head, he was never that good at maths, a voice sounded over the loudspeaker. "Jack Stewart wins by 1 point." Time slowed down as he held his board in the air, and everyone applauded him, but none more than his dad. He walked up beside him. "Well done, son. You deserve it." 10 days later, Jack put the finishing touches on his new trophy shelf. His dad had got it for him as a token of how proud he was. But Jack knew one day he would be even prouder. He had the will, the determination, and the skill to make it to the top. All he needed was time.